Hey yo, what the fuck is up, gamers? And today we're getting political, guys. The presidential race has commenced, and we're gonna do a tier list ranking of all the candidates, so you can be educated on which candidates to vote for, which to attempt assassination on, and yeah. So for this list, I'm going to include all the main Republican and Democrat candidates, and in order for me to consider them on the list, they have to at least qualify to be in the presidential debates, right? If they don't have enough votes to even be at the debates, I'm not going to include them on the list. I can't be fucked to research every single obscure candidate. But without further ado, let's get into this. I'll go from the least popular ones to the most popular candidates. And let's get right into this. So we're going to be ranking these candidates just based on who I think would be the best president and who I think would be the worst president. It's not based on electability, just based simply on who I like and dislike. We got Doug Burgum, the current governor of North Dakota. And yeah, Doug Burgum, I'm not that crazy about him. I feel like he hasn't really done much significant things in North Dakota that stick out to me at all. He passed, a law banning almost all abortions. He passed a critical race theory ban in grade school. And he's also a lot less critical of Trump than the other candidates. I think he said he would vote for Trump if he ran a third time. And yeah, he just seems pretty average. Nothing really to write home about for this guy. His debate performance was pretty gay. I don't think I remember anything that he said, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to rank him a C tier, just middle of the pack here. And yeah. Also, although he did pass the abortion ban in Arkansas, he specifically said in the debate he would not push for a federal ban. He just wants to keep it up to the states. So, I mean, that seems kind of reasonable to me, but yeah, other than that, this guy doesn't really have much going for him. And I would say Burgum's chances of winning are pretty much zero, looking at the polling. So next we have Asa Hutchinson. So yeah, Asa, he seems all right to me. He was the head of the DEA for a few years, and he was the governor of Arkansas. And probably the most significant things he's done as governor is pass a near total abortion ban, brought back the death penalty in Arkansas. And he also passed a law allowing doctors to turn people down for religious reasons. So, I mean, doctors could not operate on LGBT people if they wanted to. And he's also been really critical of Trump denying the 2020 election. But yeah, overall, Asa, I feel like he's just kind of an average conservative. Nothing really sticks out to me about him. His debate performance didn't stick out to me at all. And yeah, his chances of winning are probably zero. So I'm going to give him a C tier, just middle of the road candidate. Not too bad, not too good. I would probably rank Hutchinson above Burgum, but yeah. Next up, we got Christopher Christie. I kind of like Chris. He's pretty funny. So Chris Christie is the mayor of New Jersey, and he's not very well liked anymore in New Jersey. Yeah, he's kind of focusing his campaign on being very anti-Trump and being very critical of his handling of the election in 2020. He's very supportive of aid to Ukraine. He wants even more aid to Ukraine. I like his handling of the debates as well. He just doesn't give a fuck what people think of the things he says. I mean, he's getting booed at half the time, but he still just says what's on his mind. And he had a couple of dunks on Ramaswamy that kind of got the audience cheering for him.
I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here. And
he's also opposed to passing abortion legislation, banning abortions. And he's anti-marijuana as well. That's one thing. He also said he wants to deport illegal immigrants as well back to Mexico. I mean, I think his politics are decent, but Yeah, he's kind of been involved in a few controversies as governor. He's just left New Jersey for very extended periods of time as well. There's been multiple years where he's gone from New Jersey more days than he was actually there. And as far as his chances of winning, I would say it's pretty slim. I mean, a lot of his positions Republicans don't really like, I don't think, judging by the crowd there that was booing him at the debate. Especially his criticism of Donald Trump. I don't think the GOP really likes that right now. Most Republicans still like Trump. But overall, I'll give Christie a C tier as well. I'll probably rank him above Hutchinson, our highest so far. But yeah, just pretty mid overall. And yeah, I know I'm giving everyone C tiers, guys. I promise we'll get some other tiers in here. Now moving on to Tim Scott, who is a senator in South Carolina, I believe. There's less to go on for him because he's only been a senator, not a governor. He's a very religious guy, wants to appeal to the religious voters. He's pro-life, but he only advocated for a 20-week abortion ban federally. He does not really want to ban abortion. And he's also anti-gay marriage as well. He voted in the Senate. He also wants to appeal Obamacare as well, and he was opposed to pulling out of Afghanistan. Again, yeah, this just kind of seems like the average religious conservative. I'm going to give him another C tier. Probably worse than Christie, but better than Hutchinson, I would say. His chances of winning, again, seem pretty slim to me. I feel like most religious voters, if they really care about the religion aspect that much, they'll probably just vote for Mike Pence, because he's pushing for a lot of the same policies as this guy. He also wants the 20-week abortion ban, he said at the debate. And he's another one who I think kind of floundered in the debate, did not really have any spotlight on him at all. Next up, we got Nikki Haley. And Nikki Haley, she seems pretty fucking based, I'm gonna be honest. She supports a 15-week abortion ban, which is a little more extreme than the other candidates who only wanted 20. But she also is very vocal in her support for Ukraine and very critical of Putin in the debate. And yeah, she just seems very based. She's also very pro-Israel as well, and very critical of Trump, especially his handling of the 2020 election. Pretty much everything she said at the debate was pretty based. I mean, she was pretty on point with all her facts. I think she got good dunks in on Ramaswamy when he was kind of deep-throating Putin.
Putin has said, once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
First of all, Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 30 seconds. Mr. DeSantis,
Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
I'm not on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon. And
Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week, Nikki.
You want to go and defund Israel? You want to
okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
Your watch, so the reality is, America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy experience that you all have shows in the pointless wars we've gotten.
And yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about Nikki. I'll give her a B tier. And really the only thing holding her back from the higher tiers is the abortion ban, I think, is a little bit much. And yeah, she's pretty opposed to legislation limiting fossil fuels, even though she does believe that climate change is caused by humans. And she also said she would consider pardoning Donald Trump, which is kind of yikes. But yeah, I would say she's probably the best Republican candidate. A pretty solid pick, and would make a good president. And now we move on to the former Vice President, Michael Pence. And yeah, I do have a pretty soft spot in my heart for Mike Pence, because I do think he saved our country on January 6th. But yeah, some of the things that hold him back, he's very hardcore religious. to the point where he's pretty anti-LGBT. He doesn't want gay marriage, doesn't want gay people in the military. There's a lot of things that kind of hold him back. Yeah, so I can't really rate him anything other than a C tier. I would probably rank him above Burgum. As far as his chances of winning the nomination, I think they're pretty slim again. I feel like most of the Republican Party still prefers Trump, who kind of hates Pence at this point. Next up, we have Vivek Ramaswamy. And this dude is basically just the dollar store version of Donald Trump. I mean, he ripped off pretty much all his talking points. He even stole his mannerisms. He's in the debate, like, talking his points, going like this. I've never seen anyone do that except Trump. I mean, that's the signature Trump move. But, yeah, this dude's definitely fucking gay. Really cringe. I mean, just the whole debate, he was just throating Trump and Putin's cock just nonstop. It was pretty hard to watch. And yeah, pretty much everything this guy said at the debate was completely retarded. He said the climate change agenda is a hoax, which was kind of a trick, because he does actually believe in climate change and think it's human caused. He doesn't want to give any aid to Ukraine whatsoever. He wants to just let it get rolled over, essentially. He wants to pardon Donald Trump. He wants to raise the voting age to 25, which I don't understand why that would be a good idea at all. He wants to straight up abolish, like, a lot of our three-letter agencies, the FBI, the FDA, the IRS. And he also has never even voted until 2020 as well. The dude just seems like an absolute dumpster fire of a candidate. Yeah, I would rank him F tier. As far as his electability, I think he's got a decent shot. He definitely could be Trump's VP if Trump gets the spot, because, I mean, he's probably the most pro-Trump person on the stage. Most of the other candidates have kind of become more critical of Trump, but Ramaswamy is definitely still very pro-Trump, which could give him a shot at the VP spot. And yeah, most of the Republican base is still, in favor of Trump. So, I mean, it's probably pretty smart to align yourself with his politics. I mean, that seems like a smart move for him. As far as him actually beating Trump out to be the candidate, I don't know. I would be skeptical of that. It could happen. I mean, I'm not going to eliminate it. I think his best shot is to just go even more crazy than Trump. I mean, he could go, if he starts going super critical on the vaccine stuff, I mean, Trump's base would probably align more with Ramaswamy there than even Trump himself. So if he tries to, like, out Trump, maybe that's his path to victory, but I don't really see anyone voting Ramaswamy over Trump if Trump is still in the race. Also, Vivek, I think he performed pretty decent at the debate, at least for the first half, before people kind of started dunking on him a little bit. But yeah, he's definitely very charismatic and has that kind of Trump energy. So that's kind of how I think he has a path to going places. Now we get to the second place candidate, Ronald DeSantis, the governor of Florida right now. And yeah, I'm not a big DeSantiser. He's decent. He's an okay candidate, but yeah, there's a few things I think hold him back. He passed the Parental Rights in Education Act. You may have heard this referred to by DeSantis critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. And yeah, so basically this bans discussion of gender identity and sexuality for grades 1 through 3. But he recently expanded it to all grades 1 through 12, which seems absolutely fucking absurd that you can't speak of gender identity to a senior in high school. That's just fucking retarded and just seems like a blatant violation. Another thing he did that I thought was pretty unhinged was flying a bunch of, like, Venezuelan asylum seekers to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. Because he said, we're just going to fly these migrants to sanctuary cities or whatever. He also passed a 6-week abortion ban in Florida, although I don't know how he feels about a national abortion ban or federal abortion ban. But yeah, he did kind of almost eliminate abortion in Florida. And yeah, I'm going to just give him a C tier. Probably rank him above Burgum, maybe above Pence as well. DeSantis winning the nomination, I mean, seems possible because, again, he's the second place after Trump. I think his path to victory is maybe if kind of these Trump gets, convicted of the stuff he's being accused of, these indictments, maybe somehow the Republican Party may kind of switch towards DeSantis. I don't know. It seems like a lot of the Republican candidates are kind of turning on Trump, so maybe things could sway, but I'm not sure. I probably would still put my money on Trump right now. His DeSantis's debate performance also, by the way, I thought it was pretty poor. I mean, he kept repeatedly dodging questions so blatantly that the moderators called him out on it. And yeah, I feel like he doesn't really have that charisma that Trump has or Ramaswamy has. And now we're moving on to the top dog, the front runner for the Republican Party right now, Donald J. Trump. And yeah, this is going to be an F tier for me. Pretty much just for the election denial alone. Election denial is pretty cringe. Don't do that, guys. Yeah, he doesn't believe that the 2020 election is real. He still maintains that to this day, even though there's no evidence of that. But yeah, also on top of that, he's pretty anti-First Amendment as well, which kind of concerns me. He wanted to make it illegal to burn the American flag.
We ought to come up with legislation that if you burn the American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. 1 year.
Which goes against the whole principle of the First Amendment. He wanted to ban an entire religious group, ban Muslims from coming to the United States.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. We have no choice. We have no choice.
Which again is like a flagrant violation of the First Amendment. Both the first two drafts of the Muslim ban were struck down because of the violations of the First Amendment. And yeah, he's just pretty trash. I could go into more stuff, but just those things alone, I think, already give you an F tier. And the fact that Trump was too much of a faggot to even show up at the debate just made me lose any respect I had left for the man. If you're still a MAGA fag at this point, I really don't know what to tell you. You just have terminal brain cancer. So I do think Trump will probably win the Republican primary unless they try to exclude him because of convictions or something, which I don't know how that would work. But as far as him winning the presidency, that seems pretty unlikely to me for a few reasons. One, he already lost to Biden in 2020. Allegedly, he lost, depending on your beliefs about the election. But there are a lot of people that hate Biden. I do know that. But the people that hate Biden probably also didn't vote for him in 2020. Like, the people that voted for him in 2020 likely still like Biden, would be my guess. But as far as Donald Trump, there's a lot of people that probably voted for Trump in 2020 that, are way more skeptical of him now after the whole election fiasco. So Biden, I feel like he probably is going to get the same amount of support as last time, and Trump probably is going to get a little bit less. He's still going to get pretty close, but yeah, I just don't see him winning if they do a rematch. So yeah, if I had to bet, I would probably place my money on Biden winning the presidency right now. But, things could change. So moving on, before we get to Biden, I decided to include a little bonus candidate here who, isn't going to be in any debates, obviously, because there isn't going to be Democrat debates. But I decided to do a little bonus here because he's the second place right now for the Democrats, and that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the son of RFK. And yeah, this dude, is absolutely batshit insane. He was pretty much anti-vax before it was cool. He's a big proponent of the vaccines cause autism deal.
The science is so overwhelming on the link between vaccines and autism. It needs no further research. The research is out there.
He's very skeptical of the polio vaccine. And yeah, he believes in a bunch of kind of pseudoscience, wacky shit. I would recommend watching the Joe Rogan episode with RFK, and that gives you an idea of how absolutely retarded this guy is. He believes that, like, Wi-Fi can explode your brain.
So the Wi-Fi radiation is obviously different than cell phone radiation. So you're talking about people that are just in a room with Wi-Fi are being exposed to something that's dangerous?
People, and people have different sensitivities to it. So some people are extremely sensitive. They become completely debilitated from it. And
really?
Oh yeah, we have
from
a woman.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we have a woman who was who developed an allergy to Wi-Fi. She was in the Israeli Defense Forces, and she was in their cyber warfare unit. So she was in a room with it all the time, and suddenly she developed and she's a brilliant lawyer. And she's one of the leaders of, in this movement to make sure that they don't put Wi-Fi antennas on elementary schools, which they're doing now. There's no control over where people put these antennas. So
what do you think Wi-Fi is doing to us, since it's everywhere and since everyone's experiencing, including you? What do you think it's doing to us?
I think it degrades your mitochondria. It opens your blood-brain barrier.
He doesn't hold his phone up to his head because he thinks that's going to give him, like, brain cancer. When he gets a phone call, he puts it on speaker and then starts talking into it. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't think there's a single safe vaccine.
You've talked about that the media slanders you by calling you an anti-vaxxer. And you've said that you're not anti-vaccine, you're pro-safe vaccine. Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
Those are big words. What about the polio? Can we talk about the?
Well, here's the problem.
Yes.
Here's the problem. The polio vaccine contained a virus called simian virus 40, SV40. It's one of the most carcinogenic materials that is known to man. In fact, it's used now by scientists around the world to induce tumors in rats and guinea pigs in labs. But it was in that vaccine. 98 million people who got that vaccine in my generation got it. And now you've had this explosion of soft tissue cancers in our generation that kill many, 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 many more people than polio ever did. So if you say to me that the polio vaccine was effective against polio, I'm going to say yes. And if you say to me, did it kill more people? Did it cause more deaths than avert? I would say, I don't know, because we don't have the data on that.
So yeah, he's pretty retarded. I'm going to give him a D tier. His chances of winning are obviously zero. The Democrats are not going to give up the incumbent advantage. So now moving on to the final candidate here, Joseph Biden, the Bidester. I'm a big fan of the Bidester. He passed one of the biggest infrastructure bills in U.S. history. He's pretty based. I think his handling of the Ukraine-Russia scenario was pretty good. He pulled out of Afghanistan, pretty based. Yeah, most everything he's done is pretty based. Yeah, he's pretty based. I'm going to give him an A tier. Really, the only things holding him back from the S tier is his position on gun control is a little bit cringe. He wants to ban AR-14s, which is not even an actual gun. But yeah, the Bidester, I like the Bidester, hot take. I know not everyone likes the Bidester, but yeah, that is my president tier list here. Biden and Nikki Haley are definitely my top picks. Vote for them.